Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Geoff Reddick, and on behalf of myself and my two co-authors, Dr. Katie Heiden-Rootes and Dr. Andy Brimhall, we just want to thank you guys for taking the time to read our article, Therapists' Assessments in Treating Sex Addiction and Their Relationship to Clients' Gender, Relationship Status, and Exclusivity Status. Really, guys, this project that we based our manuscript on was born out of our interest in better understanding therapist factors and biases, really, and how those may impact our work with our clients. Right, so I remember having this conversation with the two of them. And it was really about what is it like for our clients when they come in, that first impression when they walk in to meet us in the therapy room, right? So we try to greet them welcomingly and warmly. We want them to see our smiles, our laughter, our handshakes. Like, we want them to feel loved just in that first encounter, right? And our clients can tangibly experience this with us, right? But we're wondering, okay, what about those unforeseen, those things that our clients can't see with their eyes and they can't, feel with their hands, but are nonetheless present, that are impacting their clinical work, right? So my potential biases, my worldview, my beliefs, right? So what I think is a normal relationship, what I believe constitutes a normal sexual lifestyle. So, right, it's not wrong to have opinions and beliefs, right? But how do those opinions and beliefs potentially impact how I proceed in therapy? Right, so we wanted to understand specifically, how does a clinician's recommendations, like, how are those impacted by what they believe, their own views about potential or certain things, right? So for our article, for our purposes, it was, how does a therapist's clinical assessment and recommendations, how might those be impacted by a client's gender, male or female, a client's marital status, so is the client married or unmarried, and a client's exclusivity status, right? So is the client in a monogamous relationship, or is the client in a consensually non-monogamous relationship, right? So gender and sexuality and addiction, right? All of these topics have a lot of potential, biases and opinions, right? I think we all believe certain things about all of these, and it's not wrong, again, to believe something, but we wanted to know, do these beliefs impact how a therapist proceeds? Right, so it's hard, I think, to gain an honest response, an authentic response from somebody by just, if I walked up to you and said, hey, do you have a bias against working with people who are not married? Or do you have a bias against somebody who's in a non-monogamous relationship, right? It's unlikely that everybody's going to be super honest about that. So for us, it's about using clinical vignettes, like case scenarios, right? So every participant in our study received one of 8 different randomized vignettes. So the vignettes are the same, except that they differ on those 3 factors, right? Gender, relationship status, and exclusivity status. So they had the same behaviors, the same presenting concerns, but those 3 variables gave us with 8 potential scenarios that somebody might get, right? So you might have gotten a vignette with a married monogamous male. You may have gotten an unmarried non-monogamous female, right? So any potential of those 8 vignettes is what you might have gotten. So our participants then answered questions, right? So about that client that you just read, how much of a sexual addiction do you think this is? How problematic do you believe these behaviors are, right? So we gave them opportunities to give their answers, to qualitatively provide some reason for why they gave those answers, and our paper will go into much more detail. I think perhaps what's most interesting about this study, maybe the result that we found most interesting, is just the significant difference that there was between our non-monogamous client vignettes versus our monogamous client vignettes. So the clients who are in consensually non-monogamous relationships were significantly rated more negatively than the monogamous clients, right? And I think there's some potential reasons in there that we go into in our paper. There's also this result that we found, that the more a clinician views a behavior as being an addiction, the less likely that that clinician is to recommend relational forms of treatment, right? So it's more likely to recommend individual or community support. So there's something else going on there too. So I think the paper does a pretty good job of just diving into these results. We're pretty excited about this. We've been working on this one for a while. I think the bottom line is just what we believe about something really does make an impact in the therapy room. And so are we paying attention to that or not? I think we can do a pretty good job as educators and supervisors and therapists just to be able to better understand our own potential blind spots, right? Again, it's not bad to have a blind spot. I think we can all have opinions and beliefs, but am I aware of that, right? So even if you're driving in your car, you have blind spots. And so what do we do to help mitigate the potential chance of me getting in a wreck? Is I put up mirrors, right? I got mirrors on the left, in the middle, and on the right. And that's all we're asking our clinicians to do is can we start to better understand our own beliefs so that I can put up mirrors so that my clients do not have to be negatively impacted by my own beliefs. So check it out, guys. We're excited for you to read this.